What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video on my 7.3 Power Stroke. This one's actually going to be an unexpected maintenance video for you guys. I was just driving the truck for the first time in 2 weeks to work and back, and on my way home, when I was about maybe 5 miles from home, so luckily this isn't when I was far away, I noticed the steering wheel was starting to pull to the left a little bit, and I'm like, that's weird. I always, love to tell people how the truck drives like a brand new truck, even though it's 26 years old, because it does, and it steers great with the recent front end work I put into it. So I'm like, man, I wonder what bump I could have hit to knock the steering loose that fast. Well, then it started to get even worse, and I'm like, man, I hope somehow a wheel spacer or something didn't break, or maybe a wheel bearing going out. So I'm like, I better pull over and check. So I pull over when I'm like 3 miles from home at this point, and I'm feeling the rotor on this side. There's a little warmth to it. The wheel, to see if my rotors are sticking, because I'm looking, the spacers look fine, the angle of the wheels looks fine. I'm like, what is going on? So that's when I thought about maybe a brake caliper sticking. Haven't had that happen to me in quite a few years, and I can't even touch that. Let's go actually grab a heat gun. Not a heat gun, but a temperature gun, and see what those wheels are reading. By the way, look how filthy dirty the truck is. They just redid our road with chip and tar. My least favorite way to redo a road. Anyway, we got 90 degrees on the back wheel for reference. Holy smokes. About 135 on this one. Let's check the other side while we're at it. Being that it's pulling this way and I can touch this side, I know it won't be hot, but just for curiosity, 85. So yeah, that side's definitely sticking. So I'm gonna have to obviously replace the caliper, and be a good time to do brake pads while I'm at it. It's now the next day, and I went ahead and pulled my wheel off, as you can see, and I took the middle part of the caliper out by just removing those bolts on the slide pin and pulled it out of the way. That way I could remove the slide pins and grease them up, because I figured maybe it was just that and I don't need a caliper. Put it back together, started the truck up with the wheel still off, and just tapped the brake a couple times, and then went to see if I could spin it, and I couldn't. So it locks up immediately, so the caliper actual pistons themselves in there are actually sticking. The good news is, looking at my rotor here, it doesn't look like it got purple. It wasn't rubbing for a very long time, so I should not have warped rotors, which is a huge relief. At least I should be able to get away with doing just a caliper. And the other good news for bleeding the brakes is, since this is closest to the master cylinder, I'm pretty sure, I'll have to look this up, but I'm pretty sure that that's the first caliper that you bleed in the sequence. It'd be a lot worse if it was like the back right side and I had to bleed all the other ones too, just because I know the bleeder valves are going to be rusted. So hopefully this won't be too bad to just pop this caliper back off, and we'll run to the parts store. So to pull this caliper off, first thing I'm going to do is grab a 14mm socket and remove this banjo bolt, which holds down our brake line. And once that's broken free, I'm going to carefully pinch off this brake line up here. Just try to minimize my fluid loss. That vice grip seems to be keeping it from leaking out, because if the reservoir under the hood gets low, then you could have problems having to bleed all 4 wheels because you introduce air into the system. So now I'm going to go ahead and go after these two 21mm caliper bolts. tight getting that off, but honestly, you should have seen when I took the metal part out earlier to try to grease those pins. It took forever. So anyway, before I take this into the parts store, I'm going to want to go ahead and pop out these pop out these brake pads, because they still have a lot of life on them, so I can reuse these. By the way, check this out. This is how they redid our road, what I was talking about earlier. So all the vehicles are going to be dusty and getting a lot of rock chips for a little bit, sadly. Here we are with our new Duralast brand one that I picked up. Pretty basic stuff here. I'm going to go ahead and actually probably should grab some rubber gloves. So for starters, I'm going to grease these slide pins like I attempted to do on the old one, just because I don't know what kind of cheap lubricant they use, if any, at the factory. So for some cheap peace of mind, we'll go ahead and put this caliper on in 2 separate pieces. Dang, they made sure to torque these down at the factory. I'm surprised they were in there that tight. I guess they probably figured most people are just going to grab this and bolt it on the truck and go, though. So in their defense, for, you know, safety reasons, I guess it makes sense. That one's a lot easier. Now with our caliper part, it'll be lighter when I go to install it as well, which is nice, but we can set this piece a little out of my way. And we'll just go ahead and pull these straight out. Didn't want to bring the rubber piece with me, but I guess I did anyway. They're pretty bone dry, so I'm glad I did this instead of just slapping it on. Now I'm going to take this as just generic stuff from the parts store as well, but just some ceramic brake parts, lubricant, and just throw a little bit on these. You don't want to go too crazy, but definitely more than what the factory did. Something like that will suffice. And just slide it back in there. Now the caliper bracket is ready to go on, but while I'm at it, I also usually like to throw a little bit on these 3 pieces here, as well as on the pistons, just to keep it lubricated. It can keep it from squeaking. One thing, it comes with these little clips here. These are kind of self-explanatory. You just pop them right on. I'm getting ready to throw this caliper bracket onto my axle here, and I'm going to use a little bit of high strength red Loctite, just because all the vibration and stuff from the road will make this want to break itself free over time. So if I go ahead and set this bracket up here like so, and get one bolt started, and put a little bit of thread locker on this as well. Once I get both of these pieces put on and snug, I'll look up the exact torque specs. Old brake pads, they got quite a bit of life left on them. I kept track of which one's inner and outer because they are not interchangeable. These should just slide right in. Now that both of our brake pads are in, I'm going to go ahead and grab my actual caliper piston itself and push it on. There's also these clips right here. Maybe they put a little tension to spring them back outward. I'm not really sure what these do. The ones I took off, I just realized didn't even have these. which I don't think is the cause of the problem. But who knows, maybe it doesn't help. They do spring them back out, which is just gonna probably make this a little harder to install the new caliper. I assume it's important. Anyway, let's see. Oh, good. There's still plenty of room. I was kind of worried that, you know, it's just gonna be causing more of a problem for me. Because I know if you reuse an old caliper, you have to like compress them back out, and it's always tricky to get them out far enough to not have any issues. I left this empty bean can under this brake line, and I was kind of expecting it to have a bunch of fluid like slowly dripping while I was gone for like half an hour, but luckily it did not. So I got these two crush washers that look identical. I'm just gonna throw out a guess here and say one of them goes on this side and one goes between the line and the caliper. I guess we're gonna find out if this is completely wrong in a minute if it leaks, but that's my guess. We're just gonna snug this one down too. As you can see, within like not very long, maybe a couple minutes, I've already got fluid to start coming out of there using the gravity drain method, where you just let it. That'll help us get our initial air out of these lines. In the meantime, let's tighten this back up. Now I've got my torque wrench here. I'm gonna set this to 42 foot-pounds. Go ahead and torque my slide pin bolts. Now I'm gonna switch this out for a 21mm socket to do my caliper bracket bolts at 166 foot-pounds. I'm gonna loosen this bleeder valve and then have my dad press the brakes down and release a couple times until he feels some pedal, and then hold it to the floor. And then while he holds it, he'll let me know. I'll open the valve and let some fluid and air out, and then tighten it, let him know when it's tight, and we'll repeat this a few times until he has a good pedal. Now we've got the brake pedal feeling solid from bleeding these brakes, as well as I can freely spin the hub right now, as you can see. So it's not seized up anymore, so our problem's been fixed. So now I can go ahead and throw this wheel back on. Like that, our new caliper is on and everything's working good. I had to grab this little bottle of brake .3 fluid to keep it topped off, because if it would have got down below that level, it would have started introducing air into the system, which would mean I'd have to bleed all four wheels. So with that being said, that'll conclude this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.